to someone who is trying to disappear.
The thing is, I don't think I'm going to be at all famous. I'm not a girl trying to be a star. I'm just scared of things.
That was a look at the new and highly acclaimed documentary Amy and the late British soul singer Amy Winehouse. Joining us now, the director of the film, Asif Kapadia, and Amy's former manager and friend, Nick Szymanski. You know, renowned film critic David Edelstein said that people this summer should see, quote, amazing documentaries like Amy, which makes alternatively thrilling and depressing sense of arguably the most soulful vocalist of the last quarter century. I have only seen clips of this, but I was so reminded of Janis Joplin and other. Amy Winehouse was, in her own right, at a very young age, she became an iconic sort of singer. This is a tragic story. What drew you to it?
I knew her music, I was a fan of her voice, but I guess a big part of it for me is I'm a Londoner. I'm a North Londoner, and she was like a local girl. So she was like someone down the road who became huge. And I guess I was kind of interested by why her life had to turn out the way it did. Why did it pan out that way? So I suppose I had lots of questions about, you know, why she was on stage where she wasn't in a really good way. That was part of my interest in wanting to make a film, I guess.
When you're using, Nick, $16,000 a week in hard drugs, you are being enabled by those around you. You have to, because you're using all the time. How much blame is there on her family, her boyfriend?
To be honest, I think the most important thing about Asif's approach to this film is I don't think it blames anyone. I think it's a very complex story. You know, her family and friends loved her. She loved her friends and family. Maybe some judgments weren't, you know, some judgments weren't as strong as they could have been about helping her. But all in all, I think this film just shows you a real insight into her talent, her career, her life.
Did you see people try to help her? Her parents, for example? Hey, Amy, knock it off. I mean, you need help.
I think she had a lot of people that cared, but I think it all got very muddied. You know, the fame came very, very quick and very strong. And unfortunately, the timing of what happened to Amy was awful. You know, she got depressed, she got lost, she got into a bad crowd, started trying heavy drugs, and then the fame came like a huge tidal wave.
Mike mentioned Janis Joplin. When I was watching this documentary, I was struck by how much Amy Winehouse, to me, is the millennial version of Billie Holiday in terms of the tragicness in some ways of her life. And it reminded me also of this, what we might think of as the daddy issues that she might have had. So if you could talk a little bit about that, because I know her father has now distanced himself from the documentary, but it seems really clear that there were some unresolved issues going on for Amy in terms of her relationship with her father.
I think that the important thing to say is the film, a large portion of the film was about the funny, intelligent, witty, amazing girl that she really was, the artist. You know, where does art come from? It comes from someone who's trying to deal with pain, trying to deal with issues. That's what she did. She wrote these amazing songs. She played a guitar. So I don't want to just focus on the negative stuff. The film's really about rebalancing it. Unfortunately, that's all people in the US knew about her, was she was troubled. What you didn't know was the amazing kid she was before she was famous, before she was troubled. And that's really what is the enlightening part of the movie. Then what you realize is that everyone, all of us have issues. We've all got problems, right? So she had depression, she had other things which somehow she was controlling. As she became mega famous and a worldwide star, that's when certain people came around, certain people made decisions which maybe, when they all add up to one another, became like this problem issue, on which then it got out of control. She couldn't control it. People around her maybe weren't experienced enough to control it.
What role in Amy Winehouse's rocket ship to success and then demise do all the new tools of social media play? Facebook, Twitter.
That's why it's different, because she's the girl that became famous with that particular song, Rehab, when suddenly YouTube, Facebook, camera phones, all of that was around. You know, in the 60s, when someone did a bad show, you read about it in a magazine, but now everyone was watching it. So everyone's seen Serbia, sadly. You know, they've seen these bad performances. And then on top of that, everyone can comment and feel really clever about themselves, that they can comment on someone else who's got difficulties. So really, that was the problem. That's the way it got out of control.
Did she read that stuff?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. She was, you know, sadly, Amy by the end was reading all of this and was commenting on it herself and engaging with it, and actually had to, one of the saddest things is when her security guard, Andrew, says, you know, she had to look at old performances of herself to remember how good she was. You know, because she'd forgotten. All of that stuff got so muddy, she forgot how good she was.
Amy is in theaters now. Asif, Nick, thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll be right back.